Happy Macam Friday, everybody, and thank you guys for tuning in. Like I told y'all on Monday, we are having a special guest today, and as you can see, well, you see the guest, but you don't know who she is. So this is my grandmother. As you guys heard my mother come in, that's her mother. So, today I'm going to be I'm going to teach her how to play chess. And then if we have enough time afterwards, then we'll play another game. If not, we'll play a game. If not, then we'll probably play a game at a later date or whatever. So yeah, how are you today? How's your day going?
Wonderfully well. I'm wonderfully well, and I've had a wonderfully well day, so it's all good.
That's good. Okay, so
And how are you?
before, huh?
And how are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good, pretty tired, but pretty good.
Good.
But so what pieces do you know, or do you want me to just go over everything?
Would you just go over everything as a
Okay,
refresher, please?
okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so first thing, I know that you see these pieces right here, but we're gonna go over the board first and then move to the pieces.
Okay.
So on the chessboard, there are a total of 64 squares, and that means that there are 32 black and 32 white. Okay. And so then let me move this real quick. Okay. So the numbers are called the ranks, and then the letters are called the files. So it's like A file, B file, C, D, E, all through, but then file afterwards. And then
Okay.
rank one, rank two, rank three, then all the way through eight. And this is because you pretty much, just like, every person has a first and last name, every square has a first and last name. So let's say that we're talking about this pawn right here, it's on A2. So you always want to say the letter first and then the number afterwards, okay?
Okay. All right.
So let's see. And then so from file A through D, the A through D file, that's the queen side of the board because the queen, you'll see this later, but the queen sits on the left side of the board on the D file.
Hmm.
So that's the queen side of the board, and then the E through H file is the king side of the board. And
Okay.
then rank 1 through 4 is white side of the board, and then rank 5 through 8 is blacks. And as you can see, black starts on the seventh rank, and then white starts on the second rank. Okay.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it with the board. So now I'm going to move into the pawns. Okay. And so that's what these pieces are called, the pawns.
Okay.
Now, pawns are worth 1 point each, and they are able to move 1 to 2 squares per on their first move. I don't know if you can see this, but it shows, the little dot right here and the little dot right there. So
Okay.
let's say that you wanted to move 2 squares on your first turn, and but then black decided to move 1 square, but
Hmm.
you can only move 1 square, or you can only move 2 squares on their first turn. After that, you cannot move more than 1 square
Okay.
again.
So every time I move a pawn, I have the choice of moving 1 to 2 squares.
Hmm.
Okay.
But only the first time.
Only the first time I move them from that line two.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and so then pawns are the only piece in chess that aren't allowed to go backwards. So if I moved up to A4, I can't
Mhm.
go back to A3. Okay,
All right.
so once you move, you have to, only with pawns though, you can't go backwards.
Okay. So,
And
okay, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just going to ask you, do pawns only move vertically, or can they move horizontally as well?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get into that. Okay, so pawns can only move vertically, but they attack diagonally. That's the only time that they ever change direction.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just let this play out. So, okay, the pawn on D2 is going to move from D2 to D3. Actually, let me do it just to make it quicker. Then we're going to have the pawn. Actually, no, we're going to go with this one. The pawn on C7 move to C5.
Mm-hmm.
And then this white pawn again moves from D3 to D4. Now
Mm-hmm.
the pawn on C5 right here attacks diagonally like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's pretty much it with pawns. They're pretty straightforward for the most part. Again, just to reiterate everything, they're worth 1 point. They move 1 to 2 squares on their first move. After that, only 1 square per turn. And then they attack diagonally, and they're only allowed to move vertically. They cannot move horizontally or backwards.
Okay. So when you say they're only worth 1 point, what do you mean by that? What does that mean exactly?
So let's say that let's say we move here. Oops. Oh, white. And that's another thing. White always goes first. So let's say this comes here, we come here. If you can see this right here,
Mm-hmm.
the plus one,
Oh,
I now have
when
one
you
more.
attack, you get the point,
Mm-hmm.
and you get 1 point if you're using the pawn.
Right.
Okay.
And then this is kind of important too, because some people are like, oh well, if you win the game by capturing the king, how does that? It pretty much just keeps track of who's winning, and then yeah, pretty much just who's winning, and so that you are keeping up with the game and stuff like that. So
What, as far as pawns go?
well, just points in general.
Okay. I'm gonna take a few notes as we go.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and then also I'm gonna go over pawn promotion really, really fast. So
Okay.
pawn promotion is, I'm just gonna move these pieces really, really quickly. Oops. Okay. So when your pawn has a clear way, like a clear pathway, and
Mm-hmm.
it reaches the end of its opponent's, when it reaches the end of its opponent's rank, then
Mm-hmm.
it's called pawn promotion. And so you can then change your pawn into any piece that you want. Now, me personally, huh?
Except for I can't change
Um,
it from a queen or a king.
well, you can change it to a queen, but just not a king.
Okay.
So you can have up to 9 queens on the board. However, a lot of experienced chess players don't like to do that simply because it's kind of overpowering. At that point, you have too much power.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but me personally, I do like to change it to a queen,
Mm-hmm.
or a bishop, or just one of the higher moving or the higher pieces,
Mm-hmm.
because one, they have more capabilities, and it's just better, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You were saying personally, that's what you were saying. Personally, you do like to change yours to a queen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any other questions on the pawn before we move forward?
Nope, I think I got it.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the bishop. Okay, so and then if you've noticed, like the bishop has a little slash on it, and some of the chess pieces actually tell you how they move based on their appearance.
Okay.
And so with the slash, this shows that they move diagonally. So they can move diagonally as far as they want, as far as their eyes can see.
Okay.
Okay. They also attack diagonally. So with this bishop moving from C1 to H6, the
Mm-hmm.
bishop on F8 can come and take it diagonally on H6. Okay.
Okay. And you
Um,
bishops only move diagonally?
yes, ma'am. No
Okay.
other way.
Okay.
And then bishops are worth 3 points.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, so if you've noticed, there should only be one bishop. Let me see, because every time I try to say this, I word it wrong. There should only be one bishop on each color. So you have 2 bishops, but there should only be one bishop on black and one bishop on white.
Okay. I see how they're set. Mm-hmm. Seated. Mm-hmm.
And so, but the only time this may change is if you do pawn promote and you change your pawn to a bishop, then you can have 2 bishops on the same color. Other than that, it shouldn't be. Okay.
Wait. Rephrase that last statement.
So if you do pawn promotion and
Mm-hmm.
you promote your pawn into a bishop,
Mm-hmm.
then you might have 2 bishops on the same color. But if you haven't,
would they be on opposite ends though?
Yeah.
If,
Well, like, okay, so if you pawn promote right here,
right.
then they're on opposite ends of the board, but you still might have 2 bishops on a black square.
Right, because there's a bishop on a black square there, and then there's a bishop on a black square here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only time that you should have 2 bishops on the same color is if you have pawn promoted. Other than that, they should always be on opposite colors.
Okay. So, okay. All right. I think I got that.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go over it one more time just for the listeners, and then just to reiterate and everything. So bishops are worth 3 points, pawns are worth 1. Bishops move diagonally, they attack diagonally, that's it. They don't move horizontally, vertically, anything else, just diagonally. Okay. 1 bishop per color, and then that's it. So okay, now we're getting into the rooks.
Okay.
So the rooks sit on the outside corners of the board. And then, hold on, real quick, back to the bishop. The bishop, once I show you how the board looks in collectively, I guess, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see that the bishop sits right next to the queen and right next to the king.
Okay.
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 But so the rooks, they sit on the four corners of the board.
Okay.
H1, A1, A8, as well as H8.
Okay.
Now, and like I said, the pieces, they show you how they move. So these move up and vertically as well as horizontally.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then of course, white goes first. So they attack, vertically. Let's see. I shouldn't have did that. Hold on. Okay, so they attack vertically. Let's move this one here. They can attack horizontally as well. They can't go diagonal,
Okay.
only side to side, up and down, or however you want to phrase it.
Horizontally and vertically. Okay.
So, okay, so and then the rooks are worth a total of 5 points, and so yeah, that's pretty much it with the rooks. They're pretty straightforward too.
Okay.
So again, just to reiterate, rooks are worth 5 points. They sit on the four corners of the board, and they move vertically as well as horizontally.
Okay.
Okay, so now on to the queen. Now the queen, like most people like to think of the queen as a combination of the rook and the bishop, because the queen is able to move horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm gonna just let this play out so I can show you all the way. Okay, and so then like I said, this is the queen side of the board. So the queen sits on the D file. So A through D, that's the side of the board, and then E through H is the kings.
Right.
And also, the something important about the queens too is that they like to match. So if it's a white queen, she's gonna sit on a white square, and if it's a black queen, they're gonna sit on a black square.
Okay.
Um,
Is
Go
that
ahead.
even after attacking? Can they end up on a different square after attacking, or no? They'll always be on their white square or their black square, depending on what color they are.
Well, no, after attacking, then they can go on a different color square.
Okay. They just start the game. They start the game on their own color.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay, so this white pawn is going to move from A4 to A5. And then let's see. So then the queens, they attack diagonally, they attack horizontally as well as vertically. So the black queen on D8 is going to move to A5. And then let's see here. Then and that's another thing. So it's always white, black, white, black. You can't move 2 turns. Okay.
Okay.
So then after that, the white queen is going to move from D1 to G4.
Mm-hmm.
And then the black queen is going to attack the other pawn on D2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the white queen is going to attack the pawn on she's going to move from G4, from G4 to D7, and then attack that pawn on D7.
Okay, but when she does that, now she's going to get attacked by the black queen because she put herself in the vertical space.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to be careful unless you don't care. Is there a time when you don't care?
I mean, if you are strategically playing and you know what you're doing, then to a certain extent, but I don't know because not I don't know, but I personally don't because and then there's a thing too with chess as far as like a smart trade, I guess. So let's say that I allowed you to take my queen so that I can take. Oh, and I didn't say that. Queens are worth 9 points. They're the most numerically valuable piece on the board.
Even more valuable than the king?
Yes. No, I said numerically. So
yeah, I mean numerically, are they more valuable than the king?
Oh yeah, you're right. No, because I didn't explain that part. So okay, the king is worth the entire game. Meaning, so if you get the king, then you don't have, the kings they're priceless pretty much. So they don't have a numeric worth, but they are the most valuable piece on the board.
Okay.
And so let's see. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, so if I traded my queen with you for a rook, that's not an equal trade because the queen is worth 9 points, rook is worth 5. So to a certain extent, I mean, as long as you're strategically playing and you know what you're doing, go ahead,
Okay.
And then another thing too that you'll learn in chess, as you progress and everything, when you're playing chess, you should always make sure that you are that you have your pieces protected and backed up. So if you want, I can go over an opening after I go over the rest of the pieces. We're almost done though, but I can go over an opening that shows you, how to protect your pieces. So yeah, actually, I'm gonna show you just so I can do that. Let me see real quick. Okay, so now next piece is the king, and so as you can see, the kings are going to start on the E file. Okay, so and then the only thing with kings they are the most valuable piece on the board, but they're, in my opinion, like the most boring because they only move one square at a time. You cannot move. Well, you can move every single, every way, like all the other pieces, forward, backward, side to side, diagonally, but only one square at a time.
Right. Okay.
So the white king is going to move from E1 to E2. Black king going to move from E8 to E7.
Okay.
And then, but if you notice, the kings aren't allowed to be near each other. And so, like right now, I can't move the king right here or right here because it would be next to the other king. Kings are always supposed to be separated.
Okay. At least one square. Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it with the kings. They only move one square at a time.
And they attack as well, right?
Yes, they can.
So everybody attacks. Okay.
And then the last piece is the knight. Okay. So the knight is worth 3 points as well. And then
as well, okay, as the bishop, same points. Okay.
And so the knight, they are the only piece that's kind of confusing to use if you don't really know how to use them. So let's see. They move 2 squares up and then 1 square to the left or the right.
So
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they make a L.
Yeah, pretty. An L or a 7, however you want to look at it.
Okay.
It's literally however you want to look at it, because you can say they can move 1 square up and then 2 to the 2 forward, or just the 2 up and then But as long as they make an L and you make a total of 3 movements, three. Yeah. Okay. And so then another thing with the knights they are the only piece on the chessboard that's allowed to or able to jump over pieces. Okay. So let me show you. Oh, well, hold on. Let me move on. So, but
they don't have to slide smoothly to make their L. If something's there, they can go over it.
Right.
Okay.
So if the knight on F4 wants to come to G2, it can do that by either coming this way or by going this way.
Okay.
And so then, once again, the knights were 3 points. They only move in L shapes. And then, and they're the only piece that's able to jump over pieces on the board.
Okay.
So that's it as far as
So how do they attack? When they stop, basically, wherever they stop on their L movement, that's when they attack?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So the only piece that attacks differently from how it moves is the pawn. The pawn is the only piece that, moves diagonally when they only move vertically.
Right. Okay. They only attack diagonal as they move vertically. Okay.
And so did you have any other questions before we move a little bit deeper into the basics?
No, I think I'm good on those.
Okay. So now let me just go ahead and close these tabs out really fast. So now we're going to go into what is called CPR, and then castling. It's going to be a few other things, but it shouldn't be too confusing. Okay.
You said CPR? Okay.
So let me just open these up really fast. Okay, so CPR, before we get into what castling and the other thing I just opened are, CPR stands for capture, protect, and then retreat. Well, in chess anyways. And so this is pretty much when you get your king in check. Check is when your king is being threatened, but it still has a chance to move out of the way or, be safe. Now,
Okay.
checkmate is when you have no more moves to go, that's it. That's the end of the game.
Okay.
So yeah, CPR is capture, protect, and retreat or run, however you want to look at it.
Okay.
And when you go through these or when your king is in check, you always want to go CPR. You don't want to skip the steps if you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want to try, okay, let me see if I can capture the piece. Okay, I can't capture. Let me see if I can protect my king. Okay, I can't do that either. Let me see if I can retreat. Okay.
Okay. And
So,
which piece is thinking that?
okay, so capturing whichever piece is able to capture the piece that's attacking the king. So
Okay.
if let's say a
So
queen
it
was
could be
right
a
here,
rook.
it could be a rook, it could be a queen, it could be a bishop, it could be a pawn, it
Okay.
could be the king itself, it could be, any piece.
Okay.
So yeah, it just depends on who's, in the line to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's see here. Okay, so this is what we call castling. Now, castling is a way to protect the king, but there are a few things that you cannot do when castling. So you cannot castle yourself out of check, meaning if you are being attacked, you cannot castle to save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't castle if you've already moved your king or your rook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure it's just three. So you can't castle out of check.
Mm-hmm.
You can't castle if you've already moved your rook or your bishop, and then your rook, and you can't castle if you've already moved your bishop. And so you can castle on both sides of the board. You can castle on the queen's or the king's side of the board.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
So,
So you
sorry,
said you can't castle if you're out of check.
you can't castle yourself out of check, meaning if you're being attacked, you can't castle to protect yourself.
Okay. And you can't castle yourself if you've already moved your rook, you said.
Or the king. Either piece you can't castle.
Rook or king. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And any
Okay.
other, is that it? That's the three.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so now, so when castling, you move your king over one. Oops, hold on. I meant to move it too, but you move your king over 2 squares.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, because this is on a computer, it's going to already do it for you. But you move the king over one, and then this is for castling on the queen side of the board.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to move the king from E1 to C1,
Mm-hmm.
and then move the rook over 1, 2, 3 squares. Well, technically 2, 1. Well, no, 1. Yeah, 3, 3 squares over. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's on the queen side of the board. And also, if you notice, there are the 4 pawns that's pretty much protecting the king as well. The rook is protecting, this right here, and then the pawns are protecting, these squares like that. Okay. And so me personally, it's not mandatory for you to have the pawns in front, but I like to because it's another line of defense to protect. And so what I like to do is I like to get all of my, and once again, once you see the full board in completion, then you'll understand more. But I like to get all of my power pieces out so that I can castle and then keep a few pawns in the background so that they can protect the king.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so then, okay, castling on the king side of the board, once again, you move the king over 1, 2 squares, and then the rook comes over 1, 2 squares. So for queen side of the board, it's always 3 movements, and then king side is always 2. Now, because of, it's closer in, there's only 3 pawns that you need to protect the king when you're castling on the king side of the board.
Okay. So the queen always moves 3 spaces. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, okay, so when you're
castling,
the king moves 3. Well, hold on. So yeah, it's 1, 2 squares, and then the rook 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, but do you have any other questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So now this is what all the pieces look like when they're together. So you have a total of 8 pawns, and then you have 2 of pretty much every other piece. So 2 rooks,
queen and the king.
So 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, and then 1 king, 1 king. I mean 1 queen, 1 king.
Okay.
And so then, like I was saying, I was going to show you. This is a full game, but it's pretty short because it's designed to be that way pretty much. But I'm going to show you this just so that you can see the importance of protecting your pieces. Okay.
Okay.
So the pawn, always, and then if we're in person, each chess game begins and ends with a handshake. Okay. So then after the handshake, then white goes first.
Okay.
So the pawn on e2 is going to move from e2 to e4.
Okay.
And then the pawn on e7 is going to move from e7 to e5.
Okay.
And remember, the pawns are able to move 2 squares, but only on their first move.
Okay. So, does the person with white dictate, so to speak, the person with black on the first move?
Nuh-uh.
Okay. So I could choose to move 2 spaces forward. And again, I won't use the numbers and the letters and the numbers right now because I really can't see them. But I could move 2 places. I could choose to move my first pawn 2 places forward. And you, as the opposing side, could choose to move a whole nother pawn, a whole nother, either 1 or 2. You could say, I'm just going to move mine 1 place, and I'm going to choose to move the one under B, I guess, or something. Right? Okay.
Or you don't even have to start off with moving your pawns. You can move because, knights are able to jump over pieces. You can move your knight out. That's just how, the simulation is set up pretty much.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so once again, let's go ahead and get back to where we were. Okay, so then the white bishop on F1 going to C4. So then black's knight is going to come out and move from B8 to C6.
Okay.
And then the queen is going to come from D1 to H5. And so then the knight is going to come, black's knight is going to come from G8 to F6. And then this right here is checkmate. The queen moves from H5 to F7.
Okay.
So let me show you. Let me run through CPR really quickly just so that you can see why it's checkmate.
Okay.
Okay, so CPR, capture. Now, we can capture this piece, but if you notice, the bishop is right there. So the bishop is protecting the queen. So even if we did capture the queen, the bishop
will kill the queen. He killed my queen.
Okay. And that's another thing. You cannot move yourself into check or checkmate either. The king can't. So
okay.
And so then
the king and the queen is in front of the king. My piece queen is in front of your piece king.
Sure.
Right.
I thought that I was playing white, but yeah.
Oh, well, I thought I was since it's facing me, but okay.
Well, sure, yeah.
It doesn't matter though. Okay.
And so then you can't necessarily protect because you can come. Yeah, there's no way to protect it. So, and then retreat, you can't run anywhere because queens are able to move horizontally. So you can't move here because the queen will come and snatch you like that. So this is checkmate, which means the game is over. You guys have to start the game over, or if you don't want to after that, then that's the end of the game. So yeah,
because basically the king can't move. Is that the reason?
Right. Okay, so that is pretty much the straight basics to allow you to play the game. So do you want to play a game or you want to go over anything else first?
Nope, I would like to play a game.
Okay. So, and I'm not the best. Hold on. I'm not the best chess player. So I'm not going to play the best game necessarily, but oops, I did not mean to click that already.
What happened?
Because I started a game with somebody and I didn't mean to do that. Isn't this your name, right?
I can't see that. So if it says in Benjam, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
you've decided you're white because that's on your side, right? And you've already moved.
Well, I'll randomize it and then we'll see.
Okay.
What?
What's wrong?
I'm trying to see. Okay. Because you. Oh. So how do I get out of this game? I don't want to play this game. I
Well,
just
play
got
the game with whoever is on there, and I'll just watch.
this. I know, but I don't want to play them. I don't know what this is. I'm playing on. Never mind. It's fine. I should have just did the other thing, but it's good.
So you playing this game now with someone else?
Mm-hmm.
Watching? Okay.
Sorry, I did not
No,
mean.
no problem. I don't mind watching. Oh, my back is.
Yeah, now they taking forever. See, that's why I don't like playing with the people because they be taking so long.
You can't cancel it, or
I tried to, but I think when it said that the game was gonna abort, I closed it out. The connection was lost.
why is the clock blinking?
Because the game is, I don't know. This is confusing. Let me see. I think I know why. Let me see. Man, I'm finna just, I don't know. I wonder if I close it out and then start a new game. No, it still went back to this one.
So you didn't
Oh,
see
okay,
it?
well, they played. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to log into my account because I'm logged in on Dab's account and he's playing the person. So I'm
So,
finna log into my account and
so
then
this
just,
is his game.
huh?
This is your dad's game.
Mm-hmm. Because he has the premium account, which allows me to do all the lessons and stuff like that. So I might just log out of his and let him finish the game. Because he logged in, and that's why it was blinking because it said that it was logged in on another account. So let me just log out, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Or do I have to have an account to play? Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Let me log in really fast. And I'm gonna stop screen sharing because I don't know. I just sorry, I did not mean to have it be like this. Okay. So now I'm about to share or send you an invite. Mm, um,
Did you send me an invite?
I think so. Did you get it?
Let me check.
Would you like me to send it again?
Nope. Well, yep. Hold on. Let me try a couple
Oh, it
things.
says it's still searching. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why it's taking so long.
I think you just sent it. Yep. Let me try this.
Okay.
I hope. Yeah, I think this
I'll
is.
probably just send it again. Okay. Was I not supposed to click?
Is that not going to work? Or is it okay? I can't hear you.
Okay. Oh, wait, how did you get on twice?
What happened?
Okay, let me see.
Okay, am I still on twice?
Okay.
Or did you do whatever you needed to do?
Okay, did you get the invite?
Oh, I thought I did, but hold on.
Hold on. Oh,
What happened?
I had when it was echoing, I had muted the computer, so I heard you talking, but I didn't hear you, or I see you talking anyway. But okay, I got it now. Did you get the invite?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
A second invite.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't get an invite. I ended up joining on the first invite again. That's what happened. That's why it had all the echoes going on.
Okay.
Because I haven't gotten the second invite. And I
Okay.
thought that was the second invite, but it was the first invite.
And you said it's in Bin Jam, right?
No, what? Were you sending the invite?
Your username, right?
Yes. No, yes, I guess.
Okay, let me try this one more time.
Okay. Oh, relax here.
You're on chess.com, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Just making sure. Okay. And you still haven't gotten the invite?
Through my email, right?
No, on chess.com.
Oh, I probably didn't accept it. I let me think. I think this is it. Maybe. I don't know because I don't know about all this.
Okay. Um, so when you here, let me show you something. Okay, so when you go to chess.com and you're still logged into chess.com, right?
Yes, I think.
Okay. So it
Um,
should
oh, I have these things that are taking up too much space. These ads. I've got ads.
have you tried closing them out?
There's no nothing to close them out with.
Okay, are you able to can you share your screen? If you
Yeah.
go back to the
Well,
StreamYard,
I don't know that I can share my screen. Can I?
try so go to the
Oh yeah,
StreamYard.
share. Huh?
So now try sharing your screen with me so I can see what you're looking at.
Share screen. Okay. Which way? The top way, where it says screen sharing is easiest with two monitors, or the
Oh,
middle, or the other one?
it should just say your entire screen and then just click that one.
Okay, I'm gonna try this and see. Okay, your entire screen. Okay.
Okay, now go to the chess.com page. Okay. So try to go to settings real quick. Just hover over the settings
Where's settings?
at the bottom.
Oh, right here.
Okay, so you are logged in. Okay, go to play.
Okay.
Okay, matter of fact, let me send you a invite again and then see what happens.
Okay. You don't know why or how to get rid of those, huh?
Just click chess.com, like the actual name.
Where? Right here?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And then you see that one right there. Hover above that one, and then see what that says. Oh, it says no alert.
Oh, alert. Yeah.
Okay. And then so click settings again.
Okay. Click settings or just hover?
Go to all settings.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not. Okay, maybe I guess I can send it to you through your email.
All right, Ma, go ahead and click the chess.com with the one
Okay.
and scroll down on there.
Scroll down where?
On that main page where you click chess.com.
Right here?
Yeah, scroll down on there and you'll be able to see it.
Maybe I should close this then, huh?
Uh-uh.
No?
Hit that arrow that was right above it just to go down.
Where? Oh, here?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Go all the way down? Go right here.
See if when you keep scrolling, see if you can see it. No action. I don't know what it's about. Keep going. Keep going. All right, try it again, Aja.
Okay. Should I just send her the invite link to her email?
Yeah.
Grandma. Okay. So yeah, let me just do it that.
Okay.
Oh, but then it's gonna. I don't know, cause then it's gonna. I don't know if the email is set up on this account. Oh, okay, yeah, it is.
How do I close these out, these ads? You can't because there's no X?
You can't.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I just sent it. Hopefully it comes through.
Okay, so go to my email and does this mean that it's not activated and that's why there's a problem or no?
Yes. Yes, please activate.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, so does that help?
Yeah, let me try to send it to you again now.
Okay. So now I should go back to my email.
No, you don't have to.
Okay. I should be able to click over here.
There you go.
Click on the two.
You just saw you can hover over it.
Oh, okay.
And there she go right there. Click
right
that.
Here.
Yep. Click that plus sign. Is it like a boom?
Okay.
So now we're good.
Yes, ma'am.
And do I still have to do the agree? I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's pretty much just saying like you agree to not leave the game prematurely and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so you're white, so you would move.
Okay. So I could choose anything, any of my what you call it, and move either one or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hmm. Now, the one you just moved was that's the bishop, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and he only moves diagonally.
Correct. And like I said, I'm not the best chess player. I don't know. I don't really. I know how to play chess, and I can teach people how to play chess, but I'm not. I don't really play it like. And so I
Mm-hmm.
might make a few moves that aren't the best or whatever. And the cool thing that I know about chess.com is that they actually tell you where you might have made some mistakes or where you could have made better moves and stuff like that after the game ends. So
Okay. So this is the knight, right? I mean,
um,
this is the one that I'm touching
mm,
is the
that's
horse.
the night. Hmm.
That's the knight. Okay. So I'm just gonna try this. I don't, I'm new at this, so let's see how it works. So now, is the game always? Is it timed where you need to finish it by this minute, this 7 minutes 41 seconds?
Yes, no, pretty much. I could have put it on a longer timer,
Uh huh.
but I wasn't really paying attention to the timer that much. And plus, we end at 8 too. So, but and so yeah, that is pretty much, and that's another reason why we go over the names and stuff like that because in a real, timed environment, timed chess game tournament, kind of
Uh-huh.
sorry, take note of like, okay, so let me show you. So when I move my bishop from C8 to G4, it
Hmm.
would say capital B to, G4 or something like that.
Okay.
And it helps you keep up. And so then the time, just make sure that, you're making, you're keeping the time. And so pretty much I'm kind of trying to let my time run down so that it's more of an even playing field.
Hmm.
But and so if you run out of time, then I'm pretty sure. I think whoever has the most points wins if you run out of time. I'm pretty sure. I haven't played too many time chess games, so I'm
Hmm.
not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever has the most points is the one who wins at the end of the time chess game.
Okay. So why is my time so low?
Because when you
Took me a long time, or
mhm. So
uh,
however long it takes you to move your pieces is however long the
oh,
And if you don't mind, can I make a correction? Whose ever time runs out first loses. So it don't matter if you have all the points. If your time runs out first, you lose. So
uh,
when you play on the clock, you're playing against the clock and your opponent.
so you have to move quickly, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So Aja, you gonna move?
Yeah, I told you I was trying to let the time run down so that we have more of an even
I
game.
know, but look at the time now.
I know.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not as good as you. Is that what you said?
No, I'm not saying that. I was just trying to, make it, I don't know, more even, more nicer.
That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
Okay. I don't have no idea what I'm doing, so it's hard. Um, no, I don't want to do that because you're gonna come get me. Um, so as a pawn, Aja, You have to be right next to me in order for me to take you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I
Or
thought
right diagonally next.
right. Okay. Hmm. And as a bishop, I can move one square to diagonal or as many as I want diagonal, right? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And a diagonal can move diagonally back and in any direction diagonally.
Right, but you can only do that in one turn. So if you move diagonally forward, I guess to a certain extent, you can't move backwards until after your opponent plays.
Right. Okay. With that being said, I'll go there.
Okay.
So as a pawn, can I move forward to and then attack diagonally?
Mm-mm. You
Okay.
can only.
I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure. Reaching for okay, I'm just gonna play because I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Hmm. And that's you just moved the queen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I thought. So would that put me in checkmate?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And so now, because I moved my king, I'm not able to castle anymore.
Okay.
I just wanted to, put that into perspective.
Mm-hmm. So what about? Oh, never mind. Hmm. Oh man. So I gotta hurry up, huh? I'll just go right there since I don't know anything else to do.
Okay. Let's see.
Hmm. Mm-mm. Wait. Hmm. I'm gonna lose because my time's gonna run out fast. So what is this considered?
That's check.
Okay. So this is the queen and this is the king.
Let me go back to.
This is the king, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the king can move anywhere though, right?
Think of
I don't.
think of CPR though.
Okay.
Think of CPR.
All right. Hold on then.
Because the first thing you was thinking was R, run, retreat.
Well,
Instead of
I was thinking of attacking, but
you can't attack with your king though.
Oh, really?
Why not?
You said you cannot?
You cannot. Let me get out y'all's conversation.
No, I mean, I'm. So this
Why
is the queen.
why can't you take it with your
Can I?
king?
Go like this then?
Yep.
Okay. So you said, why can't you take it with your king? I don't know. I don't know why the king can't attack. Couldn't have taken it out.
Because
You
the
need to be
bishop
vulnerable,
was
huh?
because the bishop was protecting the rook. So if you would have tried to take it, then the bishop would still have you in check.
Oh, okay. Why is mine still going? You just moved already?
Mhm.
I didn't see you move. Oh my goodness, Omni. I didn't
I
see
took
you.
your knight that was right here
Okay.
on on D5.
Oh. So this is the queen, and so I could go right here.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
don't know.
you could, but why would you? That's
I
what
don't even know.
I
I don't
Let
know.
her play. She's
am. So
What?
you asked an important question about the point value. Why do you want to know how much the pieces are worth
Uh-huh.
so that you don't give up a queen that's
I
worth 9 points
Yeah.
for a lesser value piece?
Yeah.
Let her play.
because you keep interrupting.
Oh man, I'm still. So this is the bishop diagonally mover, a diagonal mover. So I could go like that. I don't know why, but I'm doing it anyway, just because I need to move. Mm. Mm. This guy moves. Guess the knight, and it has to move 3 places at once, right?
Now you now you're in check. You can't do anything until you get out of check.
Oh, I'm in check here.
Mm-hmm.
Look how much time I got. 57 seconds.
Let's see here. Okay, so oh, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, but it is 7:59 and we do end every day at 8 o'clock. So if you want me, we can continue this game like individually,
Uh-huh.
but I want to make sure that I wrap up and everything so that everybody can, enjoy the rest of their day. But
Okay.
so would you like to continue the game before I wrap up and everything?
Um, no. Because if we could continue this exact game, yeah,
Yeah,
but if not, no.
yeah, we can.
Okay, yes. But
Okay, but
my time is running out, so I can't stop the clock.
oh yeah, my bad. Okay, here, let me move real quick.
So,
Matter of fact, at this point, we'll just figure it out later. But before we close out and everything, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has tuned in. I hope you guys had a good week, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And we will be back. Well, I will be back here at 7 o'clock p.m. on Monday. Once again, guys, it's every Monday and Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Once again, thank you for everybody for tuning in, and thank you, Grandma, for tuning in and being our guest and letting me you know play with you and everything like that. So, yeah.
thank you. And it's
But
been
okay, so I will talk to you later, and yeah, have a good day, everybody.